I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya.
We do have to stay focused on the future.
Flagler County's representatives in Congress and in the State House and Senate speak out about priorities at the 2021 national and state legislative agenda impact on Flagler and Volusia County's Tiger Bay Club Town Hall. Republican State Rep Paul Renner, whose district includes Flagler County, says that focus on the future needs to be strategic.
About our infrastructure, not just water quality, water supply, not just that, but where's our infrastructure, our transportation, our healthcare, as we see literally millions of new Florida residents come into this state.
Republican U.S. Congressman Michael Waltz, who represents Florida's 6th congressional district, of which Flagler County is a part of, says there needs to be a focus on jobs, and he says Mednex has a role to play there.
I think that there are really some things that can be done in an exciting way in medical manufacturing and vaccine manufacturing. I spent the last year on the China Task Force, and there's a lot of talk about bringing that manufacturing home and reducing our dependencies. I fully support that, and if I have it my way, we'll bring it into North and Central Florida.
Republican State Senator Travis Hudson, who also represents Flagler County, agreed on the focus on medical tech, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I've been working with the governor on getting a pilot program for Publix with the vaccines. So we're going to have a secondary measure on introducing the vaccines to the public in St. John's and Flagler counties through the Publix app, Publix websites, and we're going to try and introduce more vaccines to the public in this area. We are seeing a growing demand of vaccines from our elderly, and we want to make sure everybody can get them safely and appropriately.
Renner, who's also a Republican, says the focus needs to remain on the economy.
While we're not back to where we were this time last year in our revenues, you're already seeing a resilience in our economy. And I'm happy to be a small part of that as we get our workers back to work, our businesses reopened, while still protecting against a very dangerous virus.
A Palm Coast man is arrested on charges tied to child sex crimes. Karen Johnson reports.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office received information about a sex crime that occurred in August of 2020, and as the investigation unfolded, Sheriff Rick Staley says the potential sex crime was against a 15-year-old child that occurred in 2019 while she was living in the suspect's house. The victim kept a diary at the times that the suspect, 70-year-old James Lee McIntyre, had hurt her and even offered her alcohol. During a child protection interview, the teen girl confirmed McIntyre was the criminal. When the young girl told her mother about what happened, her mother recalled the same type of behavior occurring to her 27 years ago by McIntyre when she was 14 years old. Sheriff Rick Staley has more to say.
I can think of no more disgusting crime to commit than to take a child's innocence away. I hope he goes to jail forever for the rest of his life with the key thrown away.
McIntyre was booked into the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility and released after posting a $50,000 bond. Staley says, "I hope this child is able to get the help she needs to recover, as crimes like this can have lifelong effects." For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Flagler County exceeds federal 911 database standards and improves public safety. John Arking has the details.
The ability of 911 dispatchers to accurately and efficiently send first responders on their way to save lives and protect public safety has been greatly enhanced thanks to a nearly $362,000 grant awarded to Flagler County from the Florida E911 Board, and nearly 2 years' time, which allowed the county's GIS, or Geographic Information System team, its partners, and a hired consultant to scrub the collective databases to ensure that there are no discrepancies and to ensure the data sets meet the standards of the National Emergency Numbering Association. Darlene Pardini is the Flagler County GIS manager.
We want to make sure that once we push it out to dispatch and they're running calls off of that information, that, it's accurate, it's valid. We had a 911 call come in about a year and a half ago from Carrabba's. And as you know, Carrabba's is owned by the same company that owns Outback. And so it came in as Outback. And it was a simple mistake made by the phone company when they put the phone in. They just immediately assumed it was at the same location as their other phones, and they didn't change the switch location. So when that call came in to the dispatch center and dropped in the map, it showed it Outback. Fortunately, we had a great dispatcher on duty at the time, and she immediately recognized the problem and was able to fix it. But our goal is to not depend on those. We want technology to solve the problems.
Jared Shoup, Flagler County Chief Information Officer, says the grant dollars were the main factor in making this happen.
But I can't thank the State 911 Board more for this. We've gotten about $1 million in grants in the last 4 years. This project is a little over $300,000 that we were able to get as part of that granting source to be able to get this done. And this puts us, we are one of, I believe, about 10 agencies or 10 counties in the state that have done this over this thorough of a plan and this thorough of a cleanup. We're also, believe it or not, one of the top 10 for EZNets, which is the newest way of fiber optic connecting 911 centers. So we've done a lot to move ahead.
The next-gen format standardized across the country. That means counties can back each other up remotely, and emergency provisions for the service can be established in hours instead of in weeks. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arcade.
It's going to get cold this weekend. Those who need refuge can head to the Sheltering Tree at the Church on the Rock in Bunnell Saturday starting at 5:30 p.m. Sue Bickings is chairwoman of the Sheltering Tree.
This is a new location for the cold weather shelter this year. The Church on the Rock is located at 2200 North State Street in Bunnell. The shelter will open at 5:30 p.m. and close at 8 a.m. the following day. If you are in need of shelter or have no heat at home or are living in your car, we will be ready with a warm cot and 2 great meals for you.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.